Okay, in this video, we're going to be talking about SEO or search engine optimization. And what this is, it's looking to get traffic from Google or Yahoo or MSN, which are the few biggest search engines out there. And the truth is, even though there are thousands of search engines, what you're going to find is almost all of them pull their traffic from Google, Yahoo, and MSN. And Google gets roughly 50% of all of the search engine traffic. So obviously that's one of your biggest focuses. Now, I did make a video series called 1 Hour Google, which is available at onehourgoogle.com, which goes into more detail and more specific techniques of exactly how I took a brand new domain, a brand new product, and put it on page 1 of Google in a term that was out of millions, and it took me less than an hour to do it. And honestly, it's probably about 20 minutes worth of work, maybe, in order to do everything. And I'm going to share with you now some of those techniques. Now, one of the ones that's kind of obvious, but a lot of people don't do it, is after you do your keyword research, and that in itself is a hint. You really have to do your keyword research. But let's say your keyword research tells you that one of the terms that you want to rank high for is the term 1 Hour Google. Okay? Let's say they're saying that, hey, people are typing that into the search engines every single month, and there's not too much competition, but a lot of people want it. Then what you want to do is you want to try and find the domain 1 Hour Google. Okay? Now let me show you this great tool that is 100% free to use, and it's called Ajax Who Is. Now you can see right here, that's how to get to the domain, AJAXWHOIS.com. Now what this does is it saves you the time when you're when you're searching for a domain in order to get the results quicker. So maybe it's 1 Hour Google. Okay, when you type that in, you can see, and this is of course just an example. I mean, 1 Hour Google is my site, so I know it's not available, but you can see that .net or .info is available. Okay, now when it comes to search engine optimization, what we're talking about is your website. We're not talking about on a blog, we're not talking about on a Squidoo lens or an article or anything like that. All those have different techniques and different parts of the formula that make it more important or less important. We're talking about when you own a domain name and that is the name of your site. Okay? Now, this will dominate over any other form long term of SEO. Okay? In other words, Google News will get up there fast, but it won't stay for long. Yahoo Answers will get up there fast, but if you have a domain name that is based on that keyword phrase and you've optimized it the right way, it will actually win the battle between Yahoo Answers or any of these others long term, because Google sees that as the most relevant. Now, one of the things you want to do is you want to pick a .com over a .net or a .info. If the .com is not available, you can do a .org, and that will give you a good ranking as well, but the .com is always going to be the ideal. Now let's say, for example, we wanted to do dog training, and the .com is not available. What could we do instead of that? Well, we could look for Dog Training 101. We could look for dog training tips. We could look for dog training secrets. Now, obviously, dog training is a popular niche, so just that 2 seconds showed me that those few are not available. But what's great about this particular software, this Ajax Who is how fast you can go through it versus going to a site like GoDaddy and having to wait for a minute for each one. For moms, that's available. For kids, the .net's available. Let's say it's for a specific breed, like for poodles. Okay, or you get the point. Now, if you run out of ideas for this, first of all, when it comes to SEO, make sure if your niche, if your keyword is for that niche is dog training, make sure you have that at the front of your domain. Don't do killer tips for dog training. Do dog training killer tips, instead. And the other tool that I want to share with you as far as your domain that's really a great tool, and this is one that not a lot of people know about, is domainwiz.net. And what this will do, this is how you spell it right here, is domainwiz, WHIZ.net. And what this tool will do is it will give you ideas for existing domain names that are available, as well as, let me refresh it here, as well as monthly search volume as well. So very cool feature. It's a very cool website. Let me pause this for a second until it loads up. Okay, so right now DomainWiz is actually, the site is actually down, and a lot of people when they make a video like this they would just delete that and not even mention it, but it is a really powerful tool, so I still want to mention it to you and just tell you basically how it works. What I did here was I went to Google and I typed in DomainWiz and then clicked on the cache, which shows you what the site used to look like when it was up or whatever. And DomainWiz is actually kind of a secret tool that a lot of people don't know about. And basically what happens is, this is what it looks like when you first go there. And you could type in, for example, dog training, and it'll give you a bunch of different results. And what happens is, on the right here, what you want to do is it'll have a couple check boxes next to different terms that'll say things like for sale or available or expiring, meaning the domain, and .com, .net, all those different things. And what you want to do is check it off where it says .com and available. Okay? Now by doing that, what that'll do is it'll update your search, and it'll show you what's really cool is all these different ideas for your niche for different keywords and different terms that are available in the domain. And what you'll find is a lot of them will have a lot of organic traffic. In other words, a lot of people will be searching for those every single month without you having to do anything at all. So when it comes to your search engine optimization, this is one of the easiest techniques to drive a whole bunch of traffic, is to go to DomainWiz, find a cool keyword that's related to your niche that has a lot of monthly traffic, and then follow the few steps that I'm going to tell you about in order to get a lot of free organic traffic for years to come without any backlinks. Okay? Now, a couple of things that you need to follow, and they're really pretty basic, is when it comes to search engine optimization, you need to think of your visitors, and you need to organize things in a way that makes sense to the search engines and doesn't distract from your main focus. Okay? Now your home page on your website, let me give you an example here. Okay, this page right here is Top Video Software. Now if you scroll down here a little bit, you can see it's called topvideosoftware.com. When you go there, the first thing you see is bold words that is just that keyword, Top Video Software, and then your sub header starts with that and has something that supports it. Okay, now what you're going to see when you go through here is the rest of the page. It mentions here and there the word video, but it doesn't say Top Video Software, Top Video Software, Top Video Software, because that's very spammy. Instead, it's talking to the people that are there. But what it does is it prioritizes the content just like you would a shopping list or a to-do list, and the way to remember that is what's on top is the most important. So that's what this page is about. Okay, now if you look at the code on this page or the source on this page, which you can do by just right clicking and hitting view page source. Let me actually do this a little bit higher so you can see better. View page source. Then there's a few things you can learn here that are really important about search engine optimization. Okay, the title is the most important element here. Okay, in that title, all you want to have is your keyword term. Don't put top video software by Mike Cowles or top video software, the answer to all your video needs. Just put the keyword term, and it should be a few words. Most likely it's 2 to 5 words, maybe 2 to 7 words, something like that. But just put that in the title. That's it. And then these meta tags, a lot of times Google does not care about meta tags anymore, but what you're going to find is it is still relevant, and the other search engines like Yahoo and MSN, they do pay attention to it. So feel free to go to topvideosoftware.com and look at the code here and copy this and replace the actual content with, you know, your main keyword is the first thing. Okay, that's for your description. This should be pretty much the same as what you see in the title or the subtitle. And then for the keywords, have your main one and then have a few related ones. You don't have to have a ton, maybe 5 or 6 is fine, 5 to 10. And then another thing in your meta tags is where it says robots. You can just copy all of this, guys. You know, the content index follow, that just means you're telling the robots to follow this, all the links on this site. Okay, the distribution is global. Again, you're telling Google, Yahoo, and MSN this can be distributed all over the world. And then the author is you put your business name there. Okay. Now another element about search engine optimization that's really important is when you create a page, you don't want it just to be a squeeze page where it has an opt-in box and like a sentence or two. Okay, you want to have a little bit of content here, and you want to have a link to external pages. Now in this case, I've got a link here to the rest of the site. Okay, but what you can do is you can have, for example, a privacy policy, a you know, about us, a contact page, whatever, all those things on there, and have it open up in a new window. Now this is important because what happens is if you don't have it open up in a new window, people, if they open up, for example, your privacy policy and it's really boring and long, Google likes that because it says, hey, this is an actual business, but your customers are going to be bored and they're probably going to close it. And what happens then is your site is gone. So you have to have it where it opens up in a new window. And it's very easy to do. I'll show you the code for that right here in a second. Okay, so this is the code for a typical link that would go to Google where the words would say click me. Now normally this section right here says to open it in a new window. If you were to remove that and have it just like this, it would open up in the same window. So what we want to do is we want to leave it where it does actually have where it does actually have it. Let me go back here real quick. Okay, so as you can see here, this is with this section right here, that will have it open up in a new window. So what you want to do is you just want to have that the few elements that Google and the other search engines really like are things like a privacy policy, obviously a contact page, and you want to have a phone number and an email address in there if possible. If you don't have a phone number in there, that's not the end of the world, but make sure you're saying in there, you know, like our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Central Time Zone, that kind of thing. So it sounds like a professional business, okay? Have an About Us page, have a Terms of Use page. You know, by having these links on your site, even if it's a squeeze page, okay, you will get a much better ranking than 99% of the other sites out there, because you're telling Google that you're a professional site and you're thinking about your visitors and you're wanting it to be a good experience for them, and you're targeting that specific keyword for your customers to make it very relevant. This is what Google wants. So the other last tip I'm going to share with you is putting a picture on there, okay, and taking that picture, and when you upload a picture, normally what'll happen is it'll be like 128.jpg or something like that, okay. But if your term for that particular site is, say for example, dog training, what you want to do is rename that picture to dogtraining.jpg or dogtraining.gif, okay. And then what you want to do is, when you do that, first of all, you have to rename it before you upload it, otherwise it won't work. But when you create that link, I'm sorry, I'm doing it the wrong way. It's okay. So this would be your standard link code. Okay, what you would do is you would add what's called a alt tag in there, and you go alt tag equals dog training. And by simply adding that little bit of code there, that tells Google or the search engines that this picture is a picture of whatever you put here in alt tag. And that will help your ranking as well. So that's pretty much all you have to do when it comes to SEO in order to get a very good ranking, guys. You can always go for getting more backlinks from other people and stuff like that if it's a highly competitive term. But what you're going to find is that there's not a ton of terms out there that really need that. I mean, if you're looking for something like golf or make money online or something, yeah, it's going to be more competitive. But you can get so much traffic with doing these mid-level terms, like maybe dog training for poodles, or how to teach a dog to sit, or things like that, where you can still get a lot of traffic from it. There's 1,000 or a few thousand people, 30,000 people that are searching for that every single month. You can dominate just by following these few little tips. So go ahead and do this, and make sure you apply this same concept to all the different types of sites that you have, as far as prioritizing things, having a picture on there, whether it's a Squidoo lens or a blog or whatever, and you'll find that you'll get great results. I've been doing this for years. I've had companies pay me a lot of money to get their sites ranked on the top, and it works, very well and very quickly. Once you make your changes to your site, again, tweet about it, post about it, ping it, and you're good to go.